everybody, welcome back to today's video. The scene's a little bit different. I'm visiting my family in Thailand right now, so I'm in my childhood room. Sorry about the noises, you might hear some buses going around, cars. So today it is very exciting because I am going to go climb with one of my middle school friends at one of the climbing gyms in Thailand. I never climbed outside of Vancouver before. The only thing I brought here is my shoes. It's kind of worn out. I have the Aragon, the Sportiva. I don't know what the plan is, but I have some businesses to go, so I'm currently dressed up. So my mom packed me a little bit of toiletry stuff. So we have some towels and some like shampoo that I can wash myself up because I'm going to hang out with my friends after the climbing session. So I thought it would be fun if I do a little bit of an explanation about my experience currently as a climber. I've been into climbing for the past year and a half. Currently for bouldering, my grading is around V3 right now, so it's still beginner, but going into intermediate level. As for top rope, I'm currently in the range around 5.10 C to D. Sometimes I do B as well, obviously like around that range. So still close to intermediate as well. The thing that got me into climbing in the first place is because of my boyfriend. My boyfriend is very active. Yet I gave climbing a try, I think, around like a year prior to dating him, and I was absolutely scared. I went top roping once in Whistler. I couldn't even jump off like the wall, and once I got to the top, I was stuck up there for at least 5 minutes. It was very embarrassing. Ever since I started dating my boyfriend, it just becomes kind of like an activity that we do together. And wait a second. Hello.
อันนั้นใช่ไหมนี่น่ารัก
โอเคนะคะมันจะได้ไม่ดู
ตัวอะไรนะภูเขา
That was my mom. I want her to see my outfit. But yeah, 2023 was pretty much the year that I really get the chance to like improve my skills in climbing. Last year, I was saying last year when I first started, it was all about getting over the fear of heights or falling for pretty much a year, especially coming from a person who doesn't do sports. My dad was whistling. Especially trying to do sports again after stopping for, I don't know, close to a decade is terrifying. Yeah, I got the chance to really get into it, and luckily I have a very supportive community, and now I spread that love of the sport to my other friends. Pretty much my close friends are starting to get into climbing as well, so that's just very cool to see. I think I had a conversation with one of my amazing friends who actually I met through climbing. She was my belay instructor, now we climb together. And I totally agree with her, is that the sport itself is so different than most sports because it's more of an independent and individual journey of growth, whereas a lot of sports is very competitive in terms of if you're in a group setting, then obviously you're competing with a team, or sometimes you are competitive with your own teammates sometimes because you want to be as good as them and stuff like that. Obviously, climbing has somewhat like that too, but climbing is more focused on individual journey, and that's what I really love about the sport compared to all the sports I've tried before when I was younger. I have the intensity. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that word. I usually get to the point that I usually gave up on sport because I'm afraid of failing so much instead of giving myself a try again. So that's why I don't do sports. And obviously everybody's approach to sports is different. If you're doing team sports that works for you, amazing. If you do other sports that with a partner style and works for you, that's amazing. It just doesn't work for me. Finally, I get to only focus on myself and just focus on where I'm at in this sport, which I completely love. I feel like a lot of people might have said this already, but climbing is for everybody. Everyone can become a climber, no matter what your height is, what your weight is, what your skills are previously in other sports. But yeah, so that's a little bit about climbing experience that I have and my opinions on climbing. If you have any other thoughts or questions, feel free to leave them on this comment down below. Since I only have my shoes, I will try my best to also do a little breakdown in terms of like prices in here for harness, for the belay devices, stuff like that. Do your own research on this. This is based on the recommendations of people who climb in Thailand that I have the chance to talk to.
I've queued them all up in my head. She's calling out your name, but she's a whisperer and she knows you. I'll let you know when you're close on the low, and we're taking a backseat for the next week. I'm loving you more than I have before. To see you with those eyes, what is it for? Staring out the door, just meet me with those eyes.
Alright, I'm at the gym right now. I've been here for like half an hour. This gym is huge. They both have top rope, outer belay, lead climb, and boulder. They have 2 floors. I'm a little like stiff because I haven't climbed for like a week. It's so good. A lot of people are climbing, surprisingly, right now. But yeah, they also have a shower. I also have another sport that you can do in this like facility.
La, 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 la. Yeah. It's true. I'm trying to tell you that I love you. I really love you. I don't confuse. I wouldn't put no one above you. Put no one above you. Well, let me just be honest with you. I used to cry myself to sleep, and I'm so glad I found you. You know it's hard for me to open up when you open up your legs. That's fine by me. We should stay all day in bed. Fuck your degree, they don't fit our plans. I'll put a Polaroid up your chest every weekend, but you won't pick up your telephone. Just meet me at your door. Tell me what you're waiting for. What you waiting for? It's true.
It has been so many freaking weeks that I went to that gym and I didn't get the chance to really do a recap of what I felt to go to that gym. I think it's been almost 2 weeks ago. But anyways, so this is a quick recap of my experience climbing in Thailand. Just a disclaimer, this is very opinion based. I also went to this gym for only an hour. I didn't get to stay super long due to my other plans during the day. As well, it is only one gym in Thailand, in Bangkok. There's so many other gyms that I want to give a try. The place I went is called Urban Climbing Gym. It is located in Prompong area, and you kind of have to walk in through, it's called Sawasdee, which is like a smallish like road, around 20 minutes. It will be easier to just take a taxi or tuk-tuk, which is like a smaller taxi. So how we get there, my friend and I took the SkyTrain where we were, find each other at Prompong Station, and then we walked from Prompong Station to the gym together. Pretty much that whole building is a gym. There are different facilities, like it's a gym facilities kind of thing. So when we get to that building, each floor has their own kind of sports. There's badminton, there's swimming, there's tennis, there's just fitness area, and including the climbing area. So that's pretty cool. So for the day pass, since we're a new member, obviously you have to sign up. It is around 595 baht. So if you convert to Canadian dollars according to what the currency is currently, it is around $22 to $23. Comparing to here, obviously that's the price that my gym I have to pay for day pass, which is I would say it's ridiculously expensive. For Thai baht, I think it's kind of pretty good because you get the chance to not only use the climbing gym, you get the chance to use all the facilities. There's no time limit as well. You can stay as long as you want. In the front, there's also a place where you can borrow towels. It costs you 100 baht, which is around $350 Canadian, which is super cheap, I think. But luckily, I bought my own towels. Now we're gonna go a little bit into the climbing experience itself. So the price for the climbing experience, because it's already included with day pass, we don't have to pay anything extra. But since my friends wants to give a try to top rope, so we rent our harness. The shoes and the harness cost 50 baht, which is around $2. And the belay devices and the chalk are free, which is just like mind-blowing. I didn't bring my chalk, so I'm like, yes, if it's free, I want to use them. Why not? Once you kind of like register every single thing, then you do a belay test just to make sure that you know how to belay each other, just making sure you know how to lower or take a break for another person. The one thing I would say about the rope over there that is very interesting is that it is very stiff. It is more of like a static rope. So kind of like an explanation, I had this conversation with my boyfriend yesterday. The rope that I used in my gym with the top rope, it is stretchy. That is the dynamic rope. And that is actually safer in terms of climbing, because when one person who climbs drop, that momentum of the string with being stretchy, it will help the person who belays not lift off. Whereas static, if the climber drops, that belayer is gonna get that momentum from the climber 100%. So you're gonna drop like this right away instead of like swinging a little bit like that. So it is a little bit interesting that they're using a stiffer rope. For me, because it ATC, it is really hard to just put the rope through the belay device itself. I have to like put the rope through the device one by one instead of being able to just crunch it and just put it through like that. As well as when I tie the rope on my harness, the rope sticks up so it could hit my face like this. So you have to manually bend it down. I find that it's very difficult and kind of annoying to tie those rope. But yeah. So after the belay test, then you're kind of pretty much free to go climb anywhere. A lot of the spaces are being used for top rope. Top rope is actually very high. It is around the same height as the oval, 18 meters in oval. I didn't want to give it a try because it's just too high for me. I'm not that comfortable with that height yet. And secondly, my friend is not super comfortable with belay practices yet. I just wanted to make sure that I feel safe, so I didn't give it a try. But she gave a try. There's the auto belay on those walls, so she gave that a try. So the type of climbing that exists in this gym, they are boulders, top rope with a little bit like 8 meters, and then they go up to 20. So it kind of depends on which range and which floors you're on. And there's also lead climb. So there's all three types of climbing in one place, which I think is really awesome. The door is kind of open, so I think it's really good to let the air circulate, would help with the chalk not going around the air, which is the problem with what we have at the gym in Vancouver here because of the weather. So the first floor, there's the lead climb wall, and then there's also the top rope wall, and there's also a bouldering wall. And then on the second floor, there's a shorter wall for top ropes as well as in other bouldering areas. So I think it's pretty cool. The way that they decided to do the grading is very similar to what they decided to do in Vancouver. Is kind of a range base and not particularly based on the grade itself. So there's two types of climbing grades. So there's the bouldering type and there's also the top rope type. So both in Vancouver and Thailand, we use the V grade. So there's V0 to V10, 11, doesn't even matter. As I mentioned earlier, we use the range. So they symbolize by using the star. So the star, if one star, it's symbolizes like V0 to V2. So their top grades is 4 stars. Whereas in Vancouver, there are 6 hex. So very similar. So for bouldering wise, for me, it was just very easy to just go up there and just start doing the bouldering holds. For top rope, the thing that's a little bit different is that here in Vancouver, we use decimal system. So what decimal system is when you see like a 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9. So whereas in Thailand, we use the French system. So what that means is that they were using like 5A, 5B, 5C, and then 6A, and then plus 6A plus. As Vancouver, I feel like each of the locations, the routes are kind of spread out a little bit more. In Bangkok, it feels like you're climbing like a moon board or like the spray wall. Actually, it feels more like a spray wall. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna put a picture of a spray wall like this. It is kind of like that, but yeah, I think that's overall my rant and kind of like my thoughts on climbing in Thailand for the first time. I think it's definitely really, really cool to get to experience climbing in different places. So if there are climbers, no matter what grade you are, I think it's really cool, and I encourage you all to just give it a try. And just, even if it's the same city but like different sport facilities, the grading system is already so different. So like if you go from like one gym and you say like, oh, like I'm a 5, I don't know, like I'm a 5'8" top rope, and then you go to a different gym and you end up between 5'10", you never know, because all the grading systems that are at the gyms, they are quite subjective, and each of the countries have their own climbing cultures. I think from what I see in Thailand and what I experience, it kind of is, it reminds me of the same style bouldering wall as Japan that I've seen. Yeah, that's like overall kind of my thoughts on climbing experience in Thailand for the first time. I hope this video is interesting. I know this is very different than my regular kind of school vlogging. I want to give it a try to do a little bit more like climbing content just for fun, because it has been so long since I enjoy a sport. Thank you so much for watching. If there's any comments or any thoughts, any ideas, feel free to message me on Instagram or just leave the comments down below. And I will see you guys in the next upcoming video. Peace.
Sweetness, tell me I'ma beat this. Learned your lesson, go.